What if Jesus never died on the cross? Day 1. We are in Matthew chapter 27. Pontius Pilate is about to give the order. His wife just sent him a frantic warning saying, "Have nothing to do with that just man, for I have suffered many things today in a dream because of him." In our reality, Pilate ignores her. But in this timeline, Pilate snaps. He gets terrified. He looks at the bloodthirsty crowd demanding execution and says, "No, take him yourselves." Jesus isn't beaten. He isn't mocked. He doesn't carry a heavy wooden cross. He simply unties his hands, walks out of the praetorium, and fades into the crowd. Sunset hits Jerusalem. There is no supernatural darkness covering the land. Day 1 ends in absolute deafening silence. Day 2. The city of Jerusalem is in complete unbridled chaos. Thousands of Jewish pilgrims are in town for the Passover festival, but something is horribly, horribly wrong. In the actual biblical account, when Jesus died, the thick, massive veil covering the Holy of Holies ripped in half from top to bottom, signaling that regular people could now access God directly. But here, the veil is perfectly intact. God is still locked behind the heavy curtain. Because of this, the ancient animal sacrifice system doesn't stop. It actually accelerates. Priests are working 24/7. The heavy smell of burning flesh fills the air. People are growing frantic because they realize their sins aren't actually being erased. They are just being paused. Day 5. The horrifying realization finally hits the global population. Because Jesus didn't die on that Friday afternoon, the ultimate divine substitute is gone. The scriptures in Romans are uncompromising. The wages of sin is death. Without Jesus paying that heavy wage with his own perfect blood, everyone has to pay for his or her own sins. Let's do a deep dive into the research of what this actually means for you and me. In Christian theology, God is perfectly holy and perfectly just. He cannot simply ignore sin, or he wouldn't be a just judge. Sin demands a payment. Without the cross, you become your own savior. Imagine living your life knowing that every single lie you've ever told, every act of pure selfishness, every dark, hateful thought you've ever had, has to be paid for by you directly. There is no grace. There is no ultimate forgiveness. There is no assurance of salvation. Religion becomes a terrifying, endless, impossible checklist of works. You are carrying an infinite debt that your human life is simply not valuable enough to pay off. Humanity is locked in a state of absolute spiritual bankruptcy. Day 7. The disciples are confused. Jesus is alive and walking around, but the message is dead. The word gospel literally means good news. But in this timeline, there is no good news to preach. Think about the ripple effect through history. No death means no resurrection. No resurrection means no Christianity. The entire world changes. A world without the story of the cross is a world that loses the ultimate historical picture of unconditional, sacrificial love. Looking at this terrifying, hopeless alternate reality makes the actual truth of Matthew 27 so much more powerful. Jesus didn't run. He didn't call down the legions of angels that he could have summoned in a heartbeat. He looked at the impossible, crushing debt that you and I owed, and he decided to let the soldiers pick up the hammer. He let them drive the nails, he took the wrath, he tore the veil, and he paid your debt in full so that you would never have to. The cross wasn't a tragedy or an accident, it was the ultimate rescue mission.
Truly, this man was the Son of God.